Guys, this is your girl, Black and Indigenous American. I am live via my cell phone. I finally figured it out. So I'm gonna wait for some people to log in. I don't see anybody watching just yet, so that gives me a chance to get on my laptop so I can see your comments and then just focus on the cell phone. So thanks guys for being patient with me with those uploads. It took forever to upload. I'm in the middle right now uploading the second part of what I had uploaded. And it's still trying to upload like literally 3 hours later. It's ridiculous. So anyway, waiting for some people to say something. I don't see anyone in the chat room just yet. Let's see. Oh, there is somebody that just started to watch. So thanks for watching, whoever you are. Like I mentioned before, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel on my laptop so I can see your responses, as far as chat or whatever, because I don't want to have to do like this to read your comments. So I don't really have a topic or topics of discussion. So if you have any questions, if there's something that you would like to talk about, just let me know. Because my mind is somewhere else other than YouTube. So let's see. So once I get to that, then we can go ahead and chat. Well, anyway, if you've been watching my past videos, you've noticed my shift in as far as the topics that I had previously when I first started this YouTube channel up until now. Now it's more on a spiritual level and not necessarily disconnecting from indigenous beliefs and way of life and things of that nature, but um, it's less about the whole racial thing. But not saying it still doesn't exist or it doesn't exist. It does exist. It does. Um, I'm just somewhere else, and when I'm focused on something else, what I've been talking about, which is still relevant, it's still relevant. But what I've been talking about, um, it's kind of, it is what it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? I'm on that. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to um, raise our hi, sweet? I see you. Let me try to get again on my YouTube page on my laptop so I can see your responses because it's kind of really low. Hi, Ari, Ben, Kendricks. Hi, thanks for chiming in. I think you're from the Georgia area, right? I think. Let's see. What do you guys want to talk about? What kind of discussion you guys would like to talk about? What's been on your mind? Throw out some topics. I'm not necessarily an expert, but I have opinions. That's why I created this YouTube channel because I wanted to share my opinion about things. And there are other people as well that kind of on the same mindset as I am. And so I just wanted to connect with people because not everyone's going to be thinking like you do, as far as friends and family. And you don't want to bog them down with everything that you're passionate about because then they tune you out and it's not fair. So with social media, it gives you an opportunity to still express yourself and connect with people who either just straight up disagree with you, or you'll find your tribe, people that actually also feel the same, if not close to the same as you do about things. So anyway, so what do you guys want to talk about? Come on, give me some topics. Let's get to talking. This is a smoothie I just made. Frozen blackberries, frozen strawberries, a collagen powder that has like a strawberry flavor, and maca powder. Maca, I've mentioned this before. MACHA. Is good for balancing your hormones, be it female or male. It's good for that, and it works, at least for me. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about, hi Auntie Pooh, hi Auntie Pooh. I finally got this live thing going on my cell phone. Took forever, but I figured it out. Anyway, again, Auntie Pooh is my real blood relative sister, Auntie Pooh and Sade. Check out her YouTube channel. She's also on Instagram too. I don't know what your Instagram name is, Auntie Pooh, but apparently you're more active on Instagram than you are on YouTube. So share that with folks so they can follow you on Instagram. Okay. I see comments coming through, but I keep fading, so I'm trying to get over to YouTube on the laptop so I can actually see them, right? Okay, Auntie Pooh said witchcraft. um, how long you've been doing this? Okay, Sweet asked how long I've been doing this as far as having a YouTube channel. I feel like my first YouTube video I did was in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not available. It's private, and it's private for a reason. I was not looking my best, and I was stuttering, and I was nervous because it was my very first video, and it was awkward, and and people, when they sense that you're not confident, they will eat you alive. So I went ahead and made that video private. So I did see witchcraft. I don't know much about witchcraft, Auntie Pooh. I really don't. I mean, I'm learning bits and pieces. And I don't necessarily agree with every school of thought, but I am in a place right now in my life that I desire to learn more about other walks of life, and that's pretty much where I am right now. Okay, I finally got into the chat box, so now I can see your comments. It might be delayed though. From your side, it looks like it's delayed. Or maybe because my cell phone is so close to to the laptop. I don't know. Let's see. So Auntie P wants to talk about protection, healing. Let's see. Ari said he's in Columbus, Georgia. Okay. I was just assuming Atlanta, Georgia. But I was close. I said Georgia. But you're from Boston. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So But yeah, like I said, I'm learning. I'm learning. This is a think tank. A think tank is where you learn about stuff. Not necessarily a classroom, but hands-on experience and things of that nature. And so that's where I am right now in life. Part of the video that I'm really still trying to upload, and it's still taking forever to upload. I mean, it is ridiculous how long. I mean, I've been trying to upload this 13-minute or whatever video, less than 30 minutes, y'all. The second part of that last video, the cut off when I was talking about that aroma mist, or it was lavender and ylang ylang or something. It literally is 40% uploaded. No lie. I don't have the patience for slow uploads. That's why it took me forever, but I finally figured out the Gmail situation with Google and YouTube. And I mean, if you care to know, I can tell you what I did. Anybody care to know? Because being that this YouTube channel was created before Google bought out YouTube, that's why it was a bit difficult to switch accounts and everything through my cell phone. People that were not around when YouTube first started and they got a YouTube channel within the last few years, they don't understand why it's so difficult for the older YouTubers to gain access to their. So anyway, I'm not gonna waste time telling you guys how I got into this live via cell phone, because it looks like you guys don't care. So yeah, I was talking about the moon, and so in so many words, what I was saying is that the wolf moon was Friday the 10th, January, and 111, January the 11th, obviously was the next day. And before I went to bed, I was watching this one YouTuber a couple of days before the full moon, just to see what people are doing and how are they approaching this energy from this wolf moon, and how are they going to do whatever. And so this one YouTuber said, even if you don't have access to a clear night to see the moon, right, to have the moon's uh, the light of the moon shine on, let's say, your crystals, what you can do is print out a picture of the full moon, and you can lay your crystals on top of that picture of the full moon. Also, you can print out the 72 names of God, and you can also place those same crystals on top of that as well. So like your full moon and your 72 names of God, right, on top of each other, and then your crystals on top of all of that. And then, you pray, and the theme for the wolf moon in 2020 is to release, to let go to let go of things that does not serve you, okay? And to forgive yourself. And for those who believe in past lives, this was an opportunity to forgive yourself for whatever was done in the past, to disconnect from that low energy. And by doing so, you're setting the next decade. Like 2020 is the beginning of this decade, right? It's 10 years. So 2020 is the beginning of this decade, and it sets the tone for the next 10 years. So you want to let go of all the stuff that doesn't serve you, all that other stuff that just, like self-doubt and just unforgiveness, especially of yourself. Not forgiving yourself, living in the past. Well, if I did this, or if I wish I would have done that, and it doesn't. At the end of the day, you need to get past that, and by setting your intentions and releasing all of that and believing it and feeling it. Guided meditations is very helpful as well, because that's what I did. So the first meditation was like 20 minutes. I had my earbuds in, listening to YouTube guided meditations on my cell phone. And then what I did was I kind of, laid down in the bed, closed my eyes. That's how I meditate. Some people sit in a chair and close their eyes. For me, I'm more comfortable when I lay down after I done already ate and showered and everything, because I'm extra comfortable and I can just relax. So that went on for about 20 minutes. And again, it was part of just releasing, letting go. And this full moon was considered a portal. And obviously, every time you turn around, someone's saying how powerful a particular full moon is. Apparently, this was one of them. And this wolf moon is, okay, enough of thinking about things and setting your mind uh, as far as happy thoughts. Now it's time to get it done. Get it done, right? If you are aware of how wolves kind of operate, they don't just sit back and think. How are they going to survive in the wild? Instinct kick in and tell them, okay, we need to operate in a pack, have some kind of order, and we need to get it done. And so, you have the aggressive, almost masculine energy. And in some cases, you need to activate that masculine energy. Masculine energy is getting it done, going after it, you know, uh, taking what's yours. Not necessarily stealing. I'm not promoting theft, but I'm just saying whatever is rightfully yours. During the meditation, you're that uh, setting that up for the next decade. That's the way I interpret it. Sweet says, did you see Wada G? And oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not check out this Api Miha Sapani video. I'm so sorry I didn't check it out. I was so focused trying to get this live thing going and researching and everything. I completely forgot. So when I get free time, I am going to check it out though. Um, so I suggest you guys just do, Google search, research a little bit about the moons. I'm still trying to become more and more familiar with the cycles of the moon, waxing versus waning, full moon versus lunar eclipse, because there was a lunar eclipse this past Friday with the full moon. All of that was together. um, and so just getting used to making it a habit of doing things like that, because um, sometimes we get busy, we get distracted with life, and we don't take the time to just keep um, that familiar schedule, right? So, Sweet says he had Clarine Ahu and other guests on there. I'm not familiar with them. Were they talking about just Saponi people in general? Yeah, I'm not familiar with these individuals. And should I be? Because if you getting me up on game, I appreciate it because um, yeah, I would like to know. I want to be in the know. Okay, I want to be in the know. Okay, so oh, okay, you said Caremio know about Indians like yourself. He knows about Indigenous American like myself. Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to check him out then. Definitely. Let's see. Oh, I was talking about the moon. So anyway, I did my meditation, the first one, and then I did my second one. And the second one I actually fell asleep. And I don't even know if I talked about this in the first part of that video that I finally uploaded, or this might be in the second part. I don't remember. I'm hoping it was the second part. So that video went on for about maybe a little over an hour, and I fell asleep with this meditation. And this meditation was pretty much talking about um, manifestation, changes, being ready for those changes. Hopefully, you've been planting your seeds for greatness, and not only meditating and thinking positive thoughts and law of attraction or whatever, but actually having a plan. And I feel like when you do meditation and law of attraction and other tools, uh, it actually helps your brain get organized. It's like you can be so scattered brain, right? But then if you can kind of focus, get quiet, and things of that nature, if you can do that, then it's almost like now I can organize how to do X, Y, and Z. You know, where do I go? The next step. It's almost like it clicks, you know? So even though you may feel like you're wasting your time, closing your eyes and thinking about butterflies or whatever the guided meditation is, really you're not. You're actually giving whatever it is more energy in order to help you assist or help you reach whatever goal that you're looking for. And for me, my goal is to empower people. Because if I'm empowering people, I actually get empowered as well. So that's my thing. Um, let's see. Oh, back to the meditation. So anyway, I fell asleep during the meditation. Around 4 o'clock in the morning. So again, I fell asleep about 11:30, maybe 11:45. 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, go to the restroom. Usually I go right back to sleep. But before I get up and go to the bathroom, I hear this masculine voice, and it said, "The wait is over." And I was like, hmm, that was the message that I received. The wait is over. So anyway, I went to the bathroom, laid back down. I was wide awake, wide awake. Could not go back to sleep. You know what? I think the last time that happened, it was a full moon. And a lot of people say that during full moons they don't rest that well, or they're not as tired, or whatever it is. In my case, it um, it was strong. And remember, y'all, remember I printed out a picture of the full moon, 72 names of God, had it right next to me on the nightstand. And I had all my crystals on this paper moon right beside me. And then the whole meditation and everything like that. And that message came through. Like literally, like this person was in the same room with me. No joke. And said, the wait is over. So maybe that's a message for somebody out there, not just for me, that you try and you try and you try and you try to follow somebody else's blueprint, right? You try to follow someone else's blueprint because it worked for them, right? However way they did what they did. You might have grew up in the same community, went to the same schools, come from the same, similar background as far as financial or what have you, and for whatever reason, whatever blueprint somebody else had and they followed it, it worked. You may have tried to follow the same blueprint as someone else. Like, for instance, you go to a guidance counselor at school trying to figure out what you should do when you grow up. And usually they give you this blueprint of what worked for someone else. And they want everybody to kind of like follow the same blueprint. And actually, it's not always meant for you to succeed using somebody else's blueprint. Sometimes you have to step out of the box and experience life. Even if you make mistakes, if you stumble and fall, you're finding yourself. You're finding your purpose. That's the point, finding yourself. And eventually raising your soul's or your spirit's vibration. Because we ultimately um, are to experience life here. And once this life is done, and within this avatar, which I mean this physical body, our spirit moves on, soul, or whatever, it moves on. But the end of this particular life, this avatar is shedded, right? Kind of like a butterfly. This is shedded, and your spirit moves on to the next dimension, wherever you end up going. But the goal is for all of us to get to the highest dimension, to find our way back to the oneness. And when I say oneness, like where it all began. That is some deep conversation, and I'm still wrapping my brain around it, y'all. I'm not sitting here speaking as if I know all the answers, because I don't. I think, unfortunately, some schools of thought, people that follow a particular school of thought, they believe that they have all the answers, and everything else is it says the chat box or chat is disconnected. Please wait while we reconnect. I hope you guys can still hear me. Okay, so it says it's connected again. So type something to let me know if you guys can see me and still hear me talk. Because it says chat is back up again. Anybody? Okay, thanks, sweet. I see you typed the letter A. So I take that as we're good. Okay. But I think it's unfortunate when you have one school of thought and everyone within that school of thought believe that that's the only way, that there's no other pieces of the puzzle that they need because they got all the pieces to the puzzle. And I honestly believe we can learn something, even if it's just one thing. We can learn something from another way of thinking, living, and believing, if we're willing to listen. And I'm not saying believe everything that comes out of everybody else's mouth. I'm not saying their way is the absolute key to whatever it is. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I am just in a place right now that I'm willing to learn. And even from people who can seem um, creepy. Got a lot of creepy people out there. But guess what? You can learn from them. They can teach you something. Now, it's up to you if you want to get absorbed in that and learn or experience through all of that, and then eventually open up to learn more things in another uh, school of thought. It's up to you. Currently, where I am right now, I sit back and I analyze. I sit back and I watch. And I'm not the type of person that will believe everything that's out there. But there's another flip side too. Whatever you believe, you give it life. It can be anything. If you believe it, you're activating its existence. If you give a lot of energy and thought to something, it's activated. So I prefer to think about certain things, think about certain things and give it a little moment to kind of digest a little bit. But if I'm not willing to play ball with whatever that is, I don't think about it too much longer. If it doesn't feel right to me, it's not for me. It's someone else's path. It's someone else's journey. Does not necessarily have to be mine, but I can learn something. I can learn something. And sometimes when things are kind of scary and creepy or whatever, you can learn like the clues so you know what you're dealing with, right? Instead of uh, covering your face or hiding your face from something that's creepy or scary, try to do something different. Actually, try to learn more about whatever it is that is creeping you out. And initially, you're gonna feel weird or whatever, but eventually, you will not be as afraid of it. Because fear, in and of itself, is low. It's low energy, and you're gonna attract a lot of that. They call them vampire energies that feed off of fear. So if you're afraid of something and you're sitting there scared and thinking about it and looking around the corner and all that, and you're putting too much energy in it, then you're feeding it, whatever it is, versus acknowledging it. Oh, that's creepy. Let me read up a little bit about it until it's no longer creepy to me. Because if you still creeped out over it and you diving into it and reading and studying and you're creeped out, yeah, you are creating an energy or space around you that will feed off of your fear. And so I choose not to spend too much time um, entertaining that. But I will, so every so often I will just kind of read up on something, kind of like in the daytime. Kind of in the daytime, when I'm around other people, I might kind of read up on something during my lunch break or something. But I'm not doing that at night. No. I'm thinking about Auntie Pooh right now. Following some other YouTube channel, and they're doing whatever at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Uh-uh. You are in the midst of this whole opening, the portals and everything like that. Uh-uh. And don't be scared. Now, I can learn. I can learn during my lunch break. I don't need to be logging in at no 3 o'clock in the morning, and they calling on whatever. Mm-mm. Thank you, but no thank you. Because again, if you're fearful or afraid or whatever like that, then it doesn't serve you. Let's just put it that way. I would say learn about it, read up on it, or whatever that is that's interesting to you. Um, when you are not, um, when you are at a place that is not threatening. And when I say that, I mean like your mindset. Um, I feel more comfortable reading about things that typically would creep most people out, like in the daytime during my lunch break. I may listen to a video or something while I'm working. But later in the evening, that's the time I set up for that high vibrational interaction. When I say interaction, meaning like if you're meditating or something like that, um, listening to videos, watching videos, something that's going to help me sleep very well at night and not be um, seeing something I don't want to see. Yeah, I control what happens in my aura, okay? And so I was talking to a friend of mine the other night. I was telling her how I hear things, but I choose not to see things. I already put that restriction down. Like messages in my dreams, I'm cool with it. Even if it's a frightening dream and I wake up, I'm in this physical realm now, not the dreamland, not the dream world. I'm here, I'm okay, but later I'm going to try to interpret what the messages were in a dream. That's fine. I do not want to see nothing, okay? Nothing. Until later in a picture. Like, for instance, I did see images in a picture. You know how you zoom in on a picture and sometimes you can see images or faces or whatever. I'm cool with that after the fact. I better not see no face on the wall or in the mirror or in the corner. No, 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 no. Now, because all that's going to do is create uh, an uncomfortable atmosphere for me. Whatever I'm comfortable with, come on. Come on. I'm cool with it. Come on. But if I'm not uncomfortable, I draw the line. And that's what we have to learn to do is to draw that line. Because if not, then we are setting ourselves up to be manipulated by energy that wants to feed off of your energy, and you don't want that. Um, I think what some uh, groups of people, they have an idea that there are spirits out there that do feed off of fear, that do manipulate and take over and all of that, and they want to protect their flock or protect their sheep from that. So part of the reason why they don't want people to dibble and dabble and things outside of this cookie cutter guidebook that many men put together is because there is a part of that where they're trying to protect you from that, especially if you are already fearful, because they know that fear is going to is going to attract more things to be fearful of. And that's where I get that from. Anyway, so I didn't go back to sleep. Wide open, wide awake. That was the message I got. The wait is over. And he said it just like that. He didn't say it fast. He didn't say it slower. He didn't say it loud like a scream. It was just, the wait is over. So you can interpret it however way you want to interpret that. Because this message is for me. I'm just sharing it with you. Um, and when I say interpret, the way I interpret it for me is, I've been putting off, like the average person, they build a family or buy a house or whatever they want to do based on what their traditions are in their community and their society. And so they kind of like feel like they're either uh, kind of not on schedule, you know. So you kind of put things off because you feel like, well, it's not the right time, or you know what, where I am right now in my life as well is, have you ever seen that movie Eat, Pray, and Love? Julia Roberts played the main character. I'm sort of like that. I feel like, and that's why I like that movie, because she was trying to find herself. Like, she had the money and the book sales and everything, but it was still something missing. And I mean, obviously, she went across the world to try to find herself, but I did understand how that feels. You know, how some people look at you as being successful, um, but then you're looking at yourself like, okay, I got this, but this can't be it. This can't be all there is to life. Is this it? There has to be more. And a lot of people who, quote unquote, live the successful life, if they really are disconnected with their higher self, the highest divinity, and they're just going along with life, eventually they're gonna feel like, this cannot this cannot be all there is to life. And then you're looking at all the years that pass by, all the time you spent trying to get to whatever level of a blueprint that you were following. And then you realize, like in that movie Eat, Pray, and Love, I need to explore. I need to explore. Like, honestly, with this relocation, me uh, relocating further south eventually, um, I have my eye on a couple of places. And one of the places is, again, the Tidewater area in Virginia. Because it's close to my familiar. I'm a Virginia. I'm from Virginia. Okay. I grew up near the water. Not necessarily the big water, but I grew up on a lake. I grew up in ancestral territory and stuff like that, as far as indigenous people. So that's home. Maryland is not home. However, I have another place that is, I just have a special place in my heart for this place, and it's just New Orleans. New Orleans, as apparently the locals say. New Orleans. It's just something about New Orleans that calls me. And I mean, obviously, most people, when they first go, they probably go to Bourbon Street like most people. That's what I did. That's what my sisters did. That's what you do when you visit New Orleans. But there's so much more about this place, so much history. I mean, it's just so diverse when it comes to belief systems, and it has its issues too, just like any other city. It has its issues. But for me, there was a connection to this place. Also, Savannah, Georgia. That was another place I went to, and I've mentioned this before. But this place also had that feel, like it was familiar, like I could see myself being there. And again, it's the southern, and again, I'm from the south, so I do miss that southern um, personality, I should say. But Savannah, Georgia, New Orleans, and I would say again the Virginia Tidewater area. But where I feel like a strong connection are those two places. And as far as um, further west, I would say it's it's a toss up between New Mexico and Colorado. Because as soon as we drove through the Navajo Nation in New Mexico, which was an eerie feeling, by the way. I felt weird driving through that land. um, but as soon as we crossed over into Colorado, it's like the landscape and everything changed. Even the clouds changed. Like just crossing the border, it changed. And that part of New Mexico was very dry and it was a desert, right? As soon as you crossed over into Colorado, there was greenery. That to me is weird. There's it's something significant about that. But the part of Colorado that I fell in love with initially was years ago, and it was Gardner, Colorado. It was, I want to say 15, 20 minutes from, or maybe 30 minutes from the Four Corners, which is Utah, where Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona meet. The corners meet up, those states. They call it the Four Corners. That's a special place. That's a special place. And what I love about it is there's so many indigenous communities there. Um, I'm sure they have their issues just like everywhere else. But for those few days I was there, it's just being indigenous American and not feeling the need to prove you're indigenous American. Does that make sense to you guys? What do you think? Whoever's watching, what do you think? There's just being indigenous American, living your life and moving on versus proving that you're indigenous American. And some people feel the need that they have to go to these functions and mimic somebody out west. I mean, you really don't have to. You can just be who you are and not feel the need to be boastful about it, if that makes sense. It's almost like the energy there is like, we are who we are. And we're indigenous American, but we're not pressed to be noticed. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, be yourself. That's right, Auntie Pooh. Thinking about a dream that I had, I think the night before the full moon. So not the full moon. This got something I think you will like, Auntie Pooh. Because I might be boring you guys, so let me move on. What I do remember in this dream is, because it's been a few days, so I remember the highlights. And one thing was, Mister was in the dream, And Mr. has this very aggressive, protective persona. And he thought he heard someone be racially disrespectful to me. And one thing about when you're looking for somebody to be disrespectful, guess what? You won't find somebody that's going to be disrespectful. So in the dream, I didn't hear anything. All I know is he jumps up and he goes after whoever he thought said something. And to me, I was like, well, I didn't hear nothing, so don't worry about it. He went after this person, and it was just this big mess. And fast forward from that, uh, same area that we were in, but this time it was like this beach house, uh, maybe a community beach house or something. And there was this woman there, and she looked younger than me, but she was into um, the dark works. And when I say dark works, I mean like she pretty much was what you would think an individual would be uh, that worked with energies that's destructive. Okay, and in my dream, I was like, no, she was like, I don't even know if she spoke or what. It was almost like telepathy or something. And I just remember communicating with her in some kind of way. But I set the rules, and it was almost like she said, "I need your blood," or uh, "Give me your blood." But she didn't speak it. I don't think. I think it was telepathy. You know, like I can read her mind or whatever. And I was like, "No, you're not getting my blood. But I do want to see what you all about. So you can spit on me." like I'm thinking about. I've seen videos of people like in Mexico doing root work or whatever, and how they would spit, like they would drink or they would put alcohol in their mouth and they would spit in the different directions, right, over this person that they supposed to be working on. But she actually spat on my left leg, and fast forward, she said it was almost like she was saying like I own you. She didn't say it, but it was like she was starting to become kind of aggressive, right? And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I told you I'm not going to do it, or something like that. And then part of that scene was a person that I was involved with that uh, was being ungrateful or something like that. And I'm sorry, but this is what happened. I took my hand and I put it around this person's throat. Not the one who did dark stuff, but around the one who was ungrateful. And I put my hand up against the neck and I said, if you don't stop, I will destroy you. I will burn you alive. I said something like that, but it was like, I will destroy you. I'm telling you right now. If you don't stop and you don't, if you do not start appreciating me as an individual or whatever, I just, in so many words, I was saying, I'm sick of it. You either stop or I will destroy you, and I mean it. And then I woke up. That was that dream before the full moon. Now, the person who I mentioned spat on my leg, I guess that was part of that person's way of trying to have control over me or whoever else that she decided to connect with. And she didn't know how dangerous that I can be in the dream, right? So when she tried to act like she had a little power, I had to put her in her place. I said, I'm not gonna do blah 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 blah. Didn't I tell you that? And like I said, the scene shifted to the person that uh, I know, not that destructive energy person, but the person I know that was being ungrateful and just being nasty towards me. And that's when I put my hand around this person's neck and rammed it up against the wall. And I was like, you either gonna respect me and appreciate me, or I will destroy you. I am done. And you know what? In real life, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I, I choose to see the best in them. And then there's sometimes you feel like, is it even worth, really? Is it even worth putting so much energy and trying to be uh, kind to some people? Some people just don't get it until you raise up. And I don't know if they're placed in your life to show you how strong you are, because you never needed to tell people how it's going to be in your world if they're dealing with you. And some people just push you. And some people, I believe they were just placed in your life to push your buttons. So you know how strong you are. And also how dangerous you are if you don't keep that in check. Hello, Linnell Vital. How are you? I appreciate you chiming in and everything. So that was that dream, y'all. So I don't know if that dream was helping me release my frustrations, because last week was uh, was definitely a week that was pushing my nerves. But in my dream, I unleashed it. Not in this reality, right? But in my dream, because before I went to bed, I was feeling a certain kind of way. And in my dream, I unleashed it. So sometimes in your dream, you can let loose, release that, and then move on. And then the next day, you feel like you actually did something. Let me see if this video is still loading. Still loading, y'all. That last video I've been trying to post forever, since 6 o'clock. 6. And here it is, 9 o'clock. And it says 69% uploaded. And you wonder why I was live. That's so annoying. Anyway. What else you guys want to talk about? I'm kind of freestyle right now. For those who know who Walter Plecker is, he was the head of vital statistics back in the early 1900s in the state of Virginia. And he was the culprit of um, changing birth records and other records as far as the race. And you were either white or black, paper genocide, pretty much. And I've been in contact with a few people that are part of my community, Indigenous American community. and I was given advice on how to publicly, as a member, how to publicly um, interact with others. Now, as you can see with my YouTube channel, my screen name is Black and Indigenous, not just Indigenous American. I've said it before and I said it again. I'm not choosing. I'm not. FYI, for those who don't know, I was raised in a community that was identified on paper for at least a couple of generations as Black, colored, African American. And even though many of us are American, Indigenous Americans, and there's mixture going on right there, but being that we were born and raised in a state that has that mentality, or at least there's remnants of that throughout the state. Now you have it flipped, where you have Indigenous American folks taking on the baton for Walter Plecker, and I consider them Pleckers because all they're doing is they're continuing the saga instead of saying, okay, as a tribal community, this is who we are. Yes, there are members who are also connected to another group of people. That's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But to tell people, focus more on your Indigenous American ancestry in public, you're just Indigenous American. That right there is, what's the word? That right there is unfortunate. Now that we're in a new decade, and I still hear people who are older than me, and I understand the thought mentality of all of that. I get it. Because if you're more this than Indigenous American, then a lot of your customs, spiritual beliefs, and everything tends to become watered down, and eventually, culturally and everything else, you're no longer Indigenous American. Genetically, yes. Culturally, no. And so preserving the culture is a priority for many people. And I applaud that. What I will not applaud is people who tell people like myself to choose. To me, that is not possible. And maybe they mean it culturally. Choose culturally. You know, your genetics are your genetics. But as far as culturally, you know, it's suggested to culturally embrace your Indigenous American customs exclusively. Sorry. To me, that's impossible. As a grown woman about to turn another decade soon, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. I am Indigenous American, and I have genetic ancestry, genetic connections to the continent of Africa, as well as other parts of the Americas. So, deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. Hashtag Get used to it. Our ancestors are not going anywhere. They're just not. And to try to water down that ancestor that some people feel like you should not embrace publicly, I don't play those games. I don't. I don't. I've been public about this for a long time. It has not changed at all. It hasn't. It hasn't changed, guys. If anything, my blackness, my connection to dark people is stronger the older I get. And guess what? My indigenous American connection is dark people as well. And when I say dark people, I'm not necessarily saying black people, right? Because I know some people feelings will get hurt if I say indigenous people, indigenous American people are black, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is there are indigenous American people all over the world. And there are people all over the world that have melanin, darker skin. And what I'm saying is, I'm connected to the dark people. The dark people of this continent, the dark people of the continent of Africa, the dark people from the islands. I'm connected to dark matter. And again, the older I get, the more I feel I want to say power, but then there's another word I want to say. I can't explain it, y'all. I can't explain it. I know some people don't want to be associated with black folks or associated with people that are darker in complexion or whatever they think is inferior. They don't want to be associated with it. There's a reason. There's a reason. And maybe they don't know. Maybe it is uh, subconsciously. They have a problem with it and they don't know why. Things will be revealed. And some people's feelings are going to be shot. And the older I get, the more I love the idea, love the fact that I'm connected to dark people. Those days are over. Worried about what people think about skin color and everything else is connected to a dark person. Please. That's a compliment. That is a compliment. And guess what? My indigenous American connection is from the southeast of USA, from Mexico, from the Caribbean, in parts of South America. And I'm talking about ancient, y'all. Enough of this 500 years. Enough of that. Ancient. Can you guys still see me? It looks like my screen has frozen. So say something. Sweet says, so true about dark people that tribal all over, put the black grandma in the closet and grandpa. I hope you can still see me. It's kind of frozen. Say something, y'all. Post something if you can hear me or see me. because my screen just froze on my end. Can you see anything? Looks like it froze on my end. Okay, you still can hear me, okay. Hmm, I don't know. Maybe that's my cue to get off. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Huh. Well, guys, you can hear me, okay. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. And it's froze in not the best, not the best image of me. I look like something stank. Well, anyway, if you can still hear me like you said, sweet, I can talk a little bit longer, then I'm gonna get off. But yeah, I love the fact that I'm learning more and more about my connection to some powerful history that's linked to people of the dark people, melanated people, people with the mahogany complexion and deep dark roots complexion. When you think of roots, right, which is underneath the surface, underneath the surface of wherever you are, and you dig up in there and it's dark, that's where life is, guys. Their roots are covered with darkness, and out of darkness comes light. And you know what? That's symbolic. That's symbolic. Again, that's symbolic. When you think of the chakra system, you have the root chakra, grounded, grounded. And in my opinion, with the root chakra, where you have crystals that's linked to the root chakra, they're dark in complexion. They're dark stones. And dark stones typically are protective stones. The root, the darkness, all of that is foundation. It's foundation. It's your foundation. And light comes out of darkness. Again, light comes out of darkness. And you know what? Like I said, there is this sense of belonging and purpose and things of that nature when I am connected to a people that's always, as long as I know, as far as what's been documented, that has been suppressed. There's people suppressed all over the world. And for whatever reason, many of them are suppressed due to the way they look, their skin, and everything else that other people have a problem with. But at the end of the day, light comes from darkness. All those people out there that have a problem with dark people, they're gonna have a problem when the tables turn. And it's turning, y'all. It is turning. I repeat, it is turning. And 2020 is the prime example. It's setting the stage. It's setting the stage. I heard through the grapevine, and let me know if you guys can still hear me. Type something or whatever, because of course it's frozen on my end, and I can't see, myself. So let me know if you can still hear me. I want to say this last thing, and then I'm going to end this live chat. Type something for me, guys. Okay, thanks, sweet. Okay, this is what I heard through the grapevine. The Aboriginals, Australia, the wildfires. If you look at Australia's flag, someone took a photo of the sun and the smoke and the fire, and it was an eerie image of what their flag is like. So Google that. Their flag, Australia. It has that almost like that darkness at the, I want to say the top. Then you have the sun, and then you have the almost like a fire to the flag, and it was very similar to that picture took during all the fires. And apparently, someone had mentioned, and a lot of people are talking, that the fires were intentionally start or intentionally created or whatever, because apparently this was something that I guess was bound to happen. It's a form of cleansing. Fire cleanses, fire purifies, and this cleansing, this cleansing was was bound to happen because you had people who colonized the original people there and treated them horribly. And due to all of that, cleansing needed to be done. That means a lot of people were forced. I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of people had to take refuge in the water because most of the continent, or the, I guess it's a continent, right? Australia is considered a continent or island. Somebody correct me, but majority of that continent was ablaze. And so it's unfortunate, but when there's a cleanse or purification that's on the schedule, that's how wrongs are made right. Again, that's how wrongs are made right. Yeah, you hear nothing about tribal people. Nothing. Now, I've heard a few things about the animals. Because, of course, a lot of people, they love them animals over human beings. You know how that is. But as far as the tribal people, I didn't hear anything. And then I did come across this one article where tribal women, Aboriginal women, were helping put out the fires or something like that. And then days later, they had rain. Now, where did this rain come from? Ask yourself that. Where did that rain actually come from? Hmm. So, it's unfortunate. A lot of lives were taken, and innocent lives were taken, and it's just horrific. But on a larger scale, the bigger picture is there needed to be purification, and that was a debt that needed to be paid. That debt needed to be paid because of the treatment of indigenous or aboriginal people uh, on that land. So yeah, that's very eerie. And then I think yesterday a volcano erupted in the Philippines. I'm like, wow, 2020 is rocking and rolling. And here it is, January 13th, day 13, and it's rocking and rolling. And I'm talking about natural stuff. I ain't talking about man made wars and all that. I'm talking about volcanoes erupting. Then there was wind. Some people down in, I want to say either New Orleans, not New Orleans, Louisiana, way down south, all the way up where I am, we all felt this wind. Like Saturday was very windy, very windy. Why was it so windy? Why were people talking about how windy it was in all these places? Makes you wonder. And Saturday it reached 73 degrees, guys, in January. Where I am, where I stay, we just had snow and ice on Wednesday of last week. Snow and ice. And I mean, that's typical in January. But then Saturday came around, it was 73 degrees. And it was like a ton of wind, a lot of wind. So it makes you wonder. But I say stay grounded, stay prayed up, and just focus on that. Sometimes you have to turn off the TV, not to be naive and not know what's going on, but not to get saturated in that. Don't spend so much time um, like ingrained and just it will mess up your psyche. Let's just put it that way. All that's doing when they're pumping all that stuff out in the media, Facebook, Twitter, all of this stuff, when they keep pumping that stuff out at you, and if you keep eating it, all you're doing is you're bringing down your vibration. You feel powerless, and it doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve your community. It doesn't serve your country. It doesn't even serve this planet. And so, yeah, Linnell says yes. I'm glad you're still on because my screen is frozen, but at least you can still hear me. Yes, yes. So I'm just saying, there's one thing to know what's going on. It's another when you sit there, like have your TV set at a particular network and all day news and just sit there and it's like rotation, the same. Everything's breaking news. It's like crime wolf, right? Crime wolf, breaking news. And then people that get kind of caught up in all that, their health like diminishes and they're dealing with all kind of mental health issues and people going crazy over Popeye's chicken sandwiches. I mean, I know people laughed and everything, and I was one of them too. I even asked my sister, Auntie Pooh, right? Auntie Pooh. She said she finally had the chicken sandwich. I was like, so was it all the hype? She said yes. And I was like, so would you just punch somebody in the face for a chicken sandwich? She was like, yes. I know I'm laughing about it, but there is something going on in our food, our environment that causing people to act a fool. And again, we have to stay grounded. We have to stay prayed up. We have to tap into our inner power. We have to find ways to cleanse ourselves. And and not only ourselves, but for those who are willing to listen and to um, for those who are willing to not only listen but to also take you seriously. You know what I mean? It's exhausting for people that are still kind of distracted by, you know, what what's the girl name? I'm thinking of somebody off the top of my head right now. Nicki Minaj. When people so distracted about stuff like that, it's difficult to shift their mindset that's going to help them get through the bumpy road, or uh, the shift, the drastic changes that many of us are going to experience. And so fear in and of itself is not the gateway that we want to entertain. We want to focus on what we're thankful for. It could be anything. Just focus on that. If you don't have anything to be grateful for, imagine it's something that you're grateful for. You're grateful for freedom from, you know, the matrix or whatever. I don't know. But when it comes to tribal identification and things of that nature, at the end of the day, everybody has some kind of connection to an indigenous community. And it could be somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Asia, here in the Americas, somewhere, Africa. It's important to go back to the basics and to focus on that versus fighting over who has Indian blood, who's lying, who's trying to take my culture, they're not really Indian, they're fake. All of that, it does nothing. It does nothing to uplift not only you and your loved ones, but your community. All it does is it creates more and more islands, more and more isolation. So what you gonna do by yourself on your island with your 2 or 3 coconuts? What you gonna do? Nothing. But try to survive while the rest of us are thriving. So the goal is hashtag thrive, not survive. You want to thrive. And if you can get over this whole who's Indian enough, who got more Indian blood than the next person, or whatever, get past that. Get past that. That's so artificial. It's an illusion. It doesn't matter. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. It is a distraction. Get over it. Get over it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It's been almost 90 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, whatever else I talk about in the future, you guys will enjoy it. Because again, I don't come with a script. I just start talking. And so you can't see me obviously, but I'm throwing up my peace sign. And I'm pretty much going to end this live video with be blessed, be a blessing to others. Until next time. Until next time. Toodles, guys. Bye-bye.